All right, guys, we're going to read a little bit about weathering now. Remember, weathering is when wind, rain, sleet, hail, ice, tree roots break rocks apart. It's the breaking of rocks apart, right? That's weathering. So let's read about it a little bit. Here we go. Weathering. Over millions of years, landforms are destroyed and created. These changes to Earth's surface are part of the process that involves three different actions. One in this process of change is weathering. Weathering is the breaking apart, wearing away, or dissolving of rock. Wind, water, ice, chemicals, and even plants can cause weathering. Waves crash against the shore at Big Sur, California. The waves break rocks into smaller rocks through the process of weathering. Weathering breaks large rocks, such as these cliffs, into smaller rocks. Look at that. See that? Right here. Right? And then we're going to skip ahead. I'm going to ask you a question in this video. Right here. Ready? Take a look at this. Right? So, weathering's crashing in here, breaking these rocks apart, right? The rocks fall down, right? Now, where they fall down here, what is this called? Think about it. Where rocks are placed, right? Where they're deposited, that's called deposition, right? Deposition right there. That's where they're deposited. And then eventually, maybe erosion will carry them away, right? Okay. So let's keep reading, right? Water continues to weather smaller rocks. They break into even smaller pieces, and I wonder what those smaller pieces are called. I bet you know. If you look closely at rock, you might see many different colors and shapes. The colors and shapes are minerals that make up the rock. Most rocks are made of one or more minerals. Rock weathers in more than one way. Most of the time, when rock is weathered, it gets smaller, but the minerals stay the same. Only the size of the rock changes, right? So the mineral doesn't change when it gets smaller. Grains of sand are really just tiny rocks, the product of weathering. This sand is made up of mainly mineral called quartz, right? It's pretty, right? So that once was a giant quartz rock, right? And weathering turned it into little tiny grains of sand. Chemicals such as acids can also cause weathering. In this type of weathering, the minerals that make up the rock actually change. Rain can become a weak acid as it falls through the air. This weak acid seeps into rock and into the cracks of rocks, such as limestone. The acid dissolves the minerals in the limestone, and the minerals wash away. Right? And there's two types of weathering. What were they? Do you remember? Mechanical and chemical, right? And so I just described chemical weathering, right? Look at this. The limestone cliffs are located in Yorkshire, England. The large cracks in the limestone were created by water containing acid, right? That's pretty cool looking, isn't it? Many caves form in this way. The weak acid can seep underground and dissolve rock. Over time, the action of the acid can hollow out tunnels and chambers in the rock. If the water levels drop, the chambers will fill with air and become caves. Pretty cool, right? Water containing acid seeps into the cracks in the limestone and kind of washes it all and undermines it underneath. And then the acid dissolves the limestone, eventually forming a cave. Pretty good stuff, right? This looks like the Rio Camoy Cave in Puerto Rico. Now, here we go. Which question am I going to have you answer for this one? Well, let's see. What happens to rock as it weathers? How does acid weather rocks? Or infer. Look at the photograph on these pages, right? What do you think will happen to the cracks in the limestone over time? Well, let's see. I'm going to have you do these two right here. It's number one. It says, what happens to rock as it weathers, right? What does weathering do to rock, right? And how does weak acid, how does acid weather rocks? What does it do? That's a chemical weathering, right? How does acid weather rocks? So we're going to do those too. All right. So good luck on that right there. You're going to answer those two right here. And it's in your Google form where this video is. So good luck. Tadero out.